Hi YouTube family, this is Juanita Franklin coming back to you guys with another video on tonight. I hope all is well with everyone. How you guys doing? I hope you guys having a great day. I hope you guys having a great weekend. I hope all is well with everyone. Today I'm just doing like a random video because I'm boring. And so I'm doing a random. And first I want to talk about funerals. I watched two long films in my life. That's Aretha Franklin film and Reverend Clay Evans film. Both of them had the longest funeral I have ever in my life experienced watching live. Aretha Franklin funeral, I think it was about 10 hours, 9 to 10 hours. Reverend Clay Evans' funeral was 8 hours. Aretha Franklin funeral, I sat there the whole day, the whole 10 hours and watched it. My daughter was called herself watching it with me, but it was so long she fell asleep on it. So I sat there and watched it the whole rest of the day by myself. Reverend Clay Evans' funeral was 8 hours. I got impatient watching his funeral. I watched his funeral for like 3-4 hours, and then I clicked off the live because I got very impatient, and I just got very impatient. So I just started like watching little clips of it, you know, stuff like that. But from the part I did watch, everybody took it well. His church family took it good. His family took it well as well. Two of his daughters got up there and made speeches, and they took it well as well. And one of his daughters was saying that he died in her sister's arm. And I got a chance to find out, you know, health-wise what was wrong with him. Because his daughter was saying that, you know, her dad got sick, you know, like a month ago. So she basically like, you know, basically told what was going on with his health. Because I was wondering, you know, what was going on with his health, because I didn't even know he was sick. So I was glad that his daughter got up there and said something. You guys got to excuse me right now because I am literally drugged up off this medication I got the other night from the emergency room. It's strong medicine. So, but I'm still going to make this video. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the films. Because some of these films be long, y'all. And I didn't have the patience to sit through the whole film. I didn't. I got off there live. I got impatient. Anyway, to make a long story short, I want to talk about some about relationships. I was once married. Okay, I was once married to this guy, and we was married for like 7 years, and I was literally in an abusive marriage. He's verbally abusing me, mentally abusing me, and emotionally abusing me. He didn't physically abuse me because he didn't fight women's, but verbal abuse and mental abuse and emotional abuse is just as worse as physical abuse. It's all forms of abuse out here. There's mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse. It's just all forms of abuse out here. And you could be abused in other ways. You know, you could be abused other ways than physical. So literally, my ex-husband was like verbally and mentally and emotionally abusing me. I stayed crying a lot. So, you know, when me and him decided to end our marriage for good, I was hurt, but at the same time, I felt relief. I felt like a big burden had been lifted off my shoulders. And he started cheating. Actually, he off and on cheated on me through the whole marriage, to be honest. First, he started off leaving on a Friday, come back on Monday mornings. Every weekend, he started like cutting his cell phone off the whole weekend. And he would literally make where I can't get in touch with him the whole weekend, and then would lie when he come back on Monday. He was going to spend time with some ladies on the weekend. And not only did he cheat on me with one woman, he cheated on me with 2 women at the same time because he admitted it. And I was hurt. I did a lot of crying because at the time when he was doing the cheating, he was abusing me real bad because because he was cheating. Anyway, so I first filed for the divorce. I wanted out of that marriage. I didn't want to be with him no more. I filed for a divorce, but he messed the divorce papers up on purpose because he didn't want to get the divorce. And so I ended up not going through with it. Okay. And then about a year after that, he filed for a divorce because he still was cheating. But this time he was cheating on me with one lady instead of two. Anyway, he was staying out all night, coming home at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, coming home smelling like perfume. You know, it's just so crazy how can a man just go out there and knowing that they cheating, knowing that they slept with another woman, and they're going to come home and try to lay up under their wife, you know, and want to make love to their wife, knowing they just got through making love to another woman. That's literally disrespectful. It's disrespectful and it's crazy. You know, so I got to the point I didn't want to sleep with him anymore. I started sleeping on the couch and left him in the bed because I knew what he was out there doing. You know, and so he started like picking arguments on purpose, would say all kind of horrible stuff out of his mouth to hurt my feelings. You know, had me crying. Our wedding anniversary came up, and my niece, the one that's a minister, she made gift baskets. She made us a his and her gift basket for our wedding anniversary and brought it over. He literally was so ungrateful that he didn't even open the basket. He left his basket like just sitting there. I opened mine, but he didn't open his. And so when our anniversary came, he literally picked a whole big fight on purpose to keep from celebrating our anniversary and messed up our whole anniversary because he wanted to go run up behind some skank out there. So one day I was at work, okay, and he packed up and moved out. So when I got out of work, I called my daughter. My daughter was like, she didn't know how to tell me that he had packed up and left, but I was happy. I was hurt and happy and felt relief at the same time. So at the time, he packed up and he moved out. And while I was at work, he didn't even tell me he didn't even tell me he was gonna move. He just up and moved out and went back to his mom's house. But I was hurt when I got out of work and found out. But at the same time, I felt relieved and I felt happy that I didn't have to go through all that hell no more. And then he filed for the divorce the second time. He came with the divorce paper and I filled them out with no problem because I didn't want to be in the marriage no more. I mean, I was devastated. Because divorce is a hard thing to go through. I don't know how many women out here went through a divorce or how many men out here went through a divorce, but a divorce is a very hard thing to go through, especially when you love someone. You know, so it was a devastating thing to go through, but it's this pastor that was praying over me. He had made it easier for me. He was like, he got a divorce ministry. Actually, yeah, he got a divorce ministry, and he was like, you know, he knew my husband was out there cheating. He was like a trade and an upgrade. And he was talking about my husband. He was talking about that woman that my husband was cheating on me with. He was like a trade, not an upgrade. And he was saying that don't blame yourself. It wasn't you. It was him. He was the problem. You know, so, and he wasn't lying because my ex-husband had been married about 4 or 5 times. It don't take that many times to get it right. If you've been married 4 or 5 times and none of your marriage works, you went through all them divorces, then you're the problem. You're the problem. Something is wrong with you because it don't take no 4 or 5 wives for you to get your act together and know how you're supposed to treat a woman. So he was the problem. Anyway, so yeah, we went through the divorce process and my divorce became finalized and I was so glad to be out of that marriage. You know, and so, yeah, I was glad to be out of that marriage. But anyway, I got back with my daughter's father. And it's so crazy because it just happened out of nowhere. Unexpectedly, it wasn't planned because me and my daughter's father had been broke up for many years. We broke up for a real long time. He had married somebody else and I married somebody else. I went through a divorce and he went through a divorce. It was so crazy. We both went through a divorce and we both married other people's. And we both went through a divorce and it was so funny. So Me and him got back together out of nowhere. It wasn't planned, none of that. And we've been back together now almost 4 whole years now. We finna get married. We've been talking about, we've been off and on talking about getting married ourselves. And we had different paths to offer us to get married. So, where I'm going with this conversation is, sometimes we be so busy trying to hold on to a bad man or a bad woman that God cannot open up the doors that's in a good man or a good woman in. And my brother told me that. My brother found out I was going through the divorce. My brother and I got back with I was going through the divorce, and during the time I was going through the divorce, I got back with my daughter's father. And my brother called me, and me and my brother was on the phone talking. My brother's a deacon at this church here in Illinois. Anyway, me and him was on the phone talking, and he said, you know what, sis? I said, well, I got back with somebody, from my past. And, he's a real good guy, and he treats me the way a woman's supposed to be treated. He don't abuse me. He don't treat me like dirt. He don't abuse me. He's so loving and sensitive to my needs. He's caring. Because my daughter's father, me and him get along so well, we don't even argue. Once in a blue moon, we might have a disagreement, and we fix it like right away. You know what I'm saying? We don't let it linger. But he treats me so good. He don't abuse me or none of that. So, my brother was like, sometimes we could be so busy holding on. Women could be so busy holding on to a bad guy. God can't give them a good guy. And I was like, you know what? My brother was right. Sometimes women be so busy holding on to a bad guy, and they get used to get immune to bad treatment till it closes the door for God to send them a good guy that's going to love and accept them for who they is and treat them right and treat them the way a woman's supposed to be treated. But when you let go of that bad relationship, that bad guy that did you bad, or if a man in a relationship with a woman that did him bad, when you let that bad relationship go, that's when God sends somebody, the right one along, that's going to treat you good, that's going to love on you, that's going to love and accept you for who you are, that's going to treat you like the queen and the king that you are. You got to know your worth. As a woman, you got to know your worth. As a man, you got to know you're worth more than that you deserve more than that. And it's so funny because the pastor that was praying for me when I was going through that divorce, he told me, he said, God gonna give you somebody that gonna treat you way better. And your next relationship is gonna last for many years. He said, you and that guy gonna get married and be together the rest of y'all life. And it was so funny. I told the pastor he already gave me somebody else that treats me way better. But I didn't tell him it was I had went back to my daughter's father, because my daughter's father always treated me good. Always treated me good. Just many years ago, after my daughter was born and stuff, we started growing apart. But he never not mistreated me. He never mistreated me. He never dogged me. He never abused me. He was always, me and him got so much in common because he's a sweet, sensitive guy. I'm a sensitive lady. So I got my sweet side. But I got my side when I go through the menopause, go to mood swing once in a while. He going through menopause too, though. We both going through menopause. But no, I'm a sweet person, and I got my sensitive side, and my daughter's father's a sweet person. He got a sensitive side. He's down to earth, cool and laid back. And he's a very decent guy, and he treats me good, and me and him get along real well. And he really loved me and accepted me for who I am. I could be myself with him. I couldn't be myself with my ex-husband, because my ex-husband trying to find fault in every little thing I say. He tried to find fault in every little thing I do, when nothing I say or do was good enough for him. You don't need to be with somebody you're not good enough for. You got to have somebody that's going to love you and accept you for everything you are, your flaws and all. Nobody is perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect. Jesus is the only perfect thing. Jesus is the only perfect thing. But we can strive to do better. We definitely can strive to do better as human beings. We can strive to do better. But the thing about it is, it do closes the door for the right man to come along or the right woman to come along when you busy trying to hold on to a bad guy or a bad woman or in a bad relationship, and you be knowing deep inside of you that person is not for you. Because if that person was for you, you ain't finna be going through all that hell. You ain't finna be going through all that abuse and stuff like that. A man that's for a woman, the man that's for you, he's not gonna abuse you verbally, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically. He's not gonna be dogging you out, cheating all on you with 2 or 3 women and stuff like that. He ain't gonna be standing here all night and come home talking crazy to you. You know, and that's the same thing with a man. Some of these men get done just as bad as these women do. So they got some women that's bad, they got some men that's bad. They got some women that's good, they got some men that's good. But we as women's and as men's, we got to know our worth. We got to know our worth. You got to know your worth as a woman. You got to know your worth as a man. You got to know that you are worth more than what you've been getting. That you deserve to be treated like the queen that you are. You deserve to be treated like the king that you are. You don't have to hold on to something that you know ain't working, that you know ain't right for you. You know this man is not good for you, abusing you all kind of ways. Or if you know this woman ain't right for you and abusing you all kind of ways, you got to let it go. You got to let it go, because that's a dysfunctional relationship, that's a toxic relationship, and it's a very unhealthy relationship. And it's going to crumble and fall apart all on its own anyway. Because that person not for you, you not for that person. So you'll know when somebody's for you. When somebody's for you, baby, you'll get a feeling out this world that no man has ever made you felt in your life. I'm talking about a good feeling. So I am grateful. Me and my daughter father got back together almost 4 years ago. We don't argue. We argue at one. We don't even argue. We get along real well. You know, he laid back and chill. You know, down to earth guy. He's a hard worker. He's a good guy. He got a good heart. He's sensitive like me. We both sensitive people. I'm sensitive. He's sensitive. And a sensitive man, that don't mean a man is gay. It's good to have at least a sensitive man care about you and care about your needs and care about your feelings. You know, and he loves me something for who I am. I don't have to be this way and that way for him to love me. And then he don't try to find fault in me. And then he don't abuse me. In no shape, form, or fashion. He do not abuse me. Even this pastor, the one offered to marry us, her name is Reverend Ross. She offered to marry us. She said, and she's pastor in 2 churches. She offered to marry me and my daughter father last year. And you know what she told me? She said, he truly loves you. That's the first thing she picked up on my daughter father. She said, he truly loves you. And it felt good to hear that from her, because I was not loved like that in my marriage. My ex-husband did not love me like that. He used to have the nerve to get mad at me and tell me he didn't love me. You know what I'm saying? So to be loved like that, it's a good feeling. Being loved by somebody that truly loves you and accepts you for who you are. You don't have to be perfect for them to love you. Knowing that you're a good woman, and appreciate having a good woman, it's a blessing. So yes, I'm looking forward to marrying this man and spending the rest of my life with him. We was going to get married like a year ago. The pastor wrote our vows out. The pastor that was going to marry Reverend Ross, she typed up our vows and stuff for me and Eugene, and she emailed me the vows. And she had his mama name on there. She had my mama name on there for the ceremony, because we was going to have a candlelight wedding, because we was planning our wedding. And we was going to have a candlelight wedding, and his mom turned around and collapsed and went into a coma and stayed in a coma 2 months, and she passed away. So that delayed the whole process of us getting married. And so we ended up not getting married because all that took place. And he was messed up for a while over his mother. So, you know, so now I'm believing God big time for us going to get married next year. Like I said, we had multiple preachers offer to marry me and him. You know, so, and it was so funny because the pastor spirit discernment, the preachers that I talked to, God showed them good things about him and me. God showed them good things about him. They never, no pastor has ever came to me and said nothing good about my ex-husband. I'm not going to even lie. They didn't. So I don't think I'm just giving advice. You know, I'm not trying to tell nobody how to run a relationship or control nobody how to run a relationship, trying to control nobody or tell them how to run their own relationship. I'm just giving advice. You know, because I've been through an abusive marriage. And I thank God I'm out of it. And I don't ever in life want to see that man again. Ever in life. I love my daughter, father, with everything I have, and I would trade him for nothing in the world. You know, and it was so funny because one pastor told me, he said, you was in a bad marriage. He said, you married an abusive man, and your daughter, father married an abusive woman. So y'all both was in bad marriages. And he said, the only reason y'all end up back together because it was meant to be. He said, that's funny, both of y'all marry abusive people, and both of y'all end up in divorce. Y'all marry other people, and both y'all end up in divorce. And y'all both got back. Then y'all came back to each other. He said, it was meant to be. It was God's doing. He said, your daughter, father is your soulmate. That's what this pastor told me. I was like, wow, you know. But, yeah. And my brother was like, I know he's the right guy. Because you yourself again. When you was married, you was not yourself. That's how you know you're in a wrong relationship. When you start not being yourself. You unhappy. You're not yourself in your relationship. You're not even yourself. I was so unhappy. I wasn't even myself. And my family noticed that. I wouldn't even act like my normal self. But when I got back to my daughter, father, I started acting back like my normal, happy, go-getter, the way I am now. All this happiness, the way I'm feeling now, I didn't feel like that when I was married. So I'm glad I'm out of that. You know, it's sad to be in a relationship where you can't be yourself. You always got to be on pins and needles on edge. Pins and needles on edge because this person making you feel this way and that way, you know? So I'm just glad that marriage is over with. So I just want to give advice to everybody on here. If you're going through a bad relationship, or if you, you know, if you're in an abusive relationship, you need to get out of it. You know, God got somebody better in store for you. You know, he would never give you nobody that'll treat you bad. Because he get nothing but the best. Anyway, that's basically all I want to say as far as relationship. Far as me, my birthday is coming up soon. I'll be 52 years old in March. But this December, January, February, March. Okay, in 3 more months. I'll be 2 or 3 months. I think 2.5 more months. I will be 52 years old. My birthday, March the 20th. And I'm thinking about renting a hall, throwing myself a 50-second birthday bash. I said I was going to do it when I turned 50. I was going to throw myself a 50th birthday bash, but I didn't get a chance to do it. But I do want to throw myself a 50-second birthday bash. I want to rent a hall and give myself a big birthday bash. And just have a good time and, you know, and vlog the whole birthday bash and just have a great time. And then I'm giving my daughter a gender reveal party once we find out what the gender of her baby is. And then I'm giving my daughter a baby shower next year. And then plus, I'm believing God, man, my daughter father going to get married next year. Yep, I'm going to make sure that happens as well. Anyway, that's basically it. That's all I wanted. I just want to do a random video. Because I'm boring. Yes. I'm boring. Anyway, you guys are my family. I love you guys. And y'all, every time I pray, y'all going to be in my prayers. I'm going to be praying everything go well in your life. I'm going to be praying for all to be well with you guys. For you guys to have happiness and peace, joy and love and blessings. And nothing but positive prayers, positive things, positive prayers. But the reason I made this video and I got to discussing relationships in my marriage, because some people don't know. Some people don't know I was married in the past and went through a divorce. So that's what made me brought up my marriage, you know, when I was married and my ex-husband. Anyway, and I just want to give a relationship advice because somebody might be going through the same thing that I went through, and somebody might be in a bad relationship, that they need to get out of, and it's not okay to be in an abusive relationship. Physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse. It's not okay to be in that type of relationship. That's not what God would have for you. Not at all. That's not the kind of man or woman God would have for you. So I just wanted to throw that out there and give a little advice and tell everybody out there that's in those kind of relationships, you got to know your worth. You got to know your worth as a man, and you got to know your worth as a woman. You got to know you're worth more than that, and you deserve better than that, and you deserve to get treated better than that. That's all I got to say. And at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for you. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. Stay on this journey with me. A lot of good videos gonna come. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the post notification button so you can get the notification when all my videos come. Continue prayers for you guys. I love you guys. All right, that's it for tonight. Peace. Wait a minute. Peace.